Travis Wayne Goodsell. Landscapers are here, and the hedge guy was threatening to come by. So I stopped the previous video and starting over here. I decided to take today off and watch Rizzolian Isles. I'm in season 5 now, and the first one was about Frost dying, and so I was like, did he actually die, or was there some kind of conflict, or what happened? And so looking up the cast online, yeah, he actually died. The reports from the police was that he shot himself. And so that explains why the show is going whole hog on the pseudoscience of psychology. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. There's a comment that I deleted. Didn't ban the guy, didn't report him as spam. He's a subscriber. Sort of. I don't think he actually is. But I wanted to touch base with him that I'm gonna be just fine. Just because I'm being threatened with my life and people are trying to have me murdered and kicked out of Utah because I've done research to show Joseph Smith was an actual translator, as I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, deciphered Egyptian petroglyphs, and identified the Bible stories as coming from translation levels of the petroglyphs, and then therefore am able to do videos showing that Dr. Rittner, who's being interviewed by John Dehlin, is just way out to lunch, as he's taken advantage of the rest of you who know absolutely nothing or just surface material stuff from Egyptian, as he's got a doctorate in Egyptology and therefore is supposed to be in a position of trust, and yet he doesn't know everything, as I've been able to exploit him for his ignorance. But that doesn't mean that the current Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true. That the inverted pentagram all over Temple Square is a symbol of Jesus. So that's why I keep doing church history videos for you guys. Canandaigua, New York is the keystone of church history. Any person who's wanting to do research on church history, any person who reads anything about church history, if they do not research, if they do not go over Canandaigua, New York, their whole thing is a fraud, and we should not listen to anything they say. Canandaigua is the keystone. Without Canandaigua, New York, there is no accurate church history. It's that simple. Just like the Book of Mormon is the keystone of Mormonism. You take out the Book of Mormon, as the Church of Christ did, which became the Community of Christ, or the reorganized became the Community of Christ, and took away the Book of Mormon in order to become part of the Christian coalition. You know, you're no longer considered Mormon. Mormon comes from the Book of Mormon. And so Nelson claiming that we are not the Church of Joseph Smith. Yeah, he's not kidding. Gummy worm smells. It could be the guy cutting outside too. No, it's gummy worm. But I don't know if any of you have ever read Plato's Allegory of the Cave from his Republic. There's lots of videos on YouTube if you want to go to them. I'm the guy who breaks free from the chains of the church and finds out the truth, and then goes back to the people who are still chained, Mormons, who are still chained against the wall, who want me dead, because I tell them stuff that they don't see right before their eyes. They don't realize the bondage they are in because of the lies and the misinformation the church has even confessed to. And so I'm not sure what to do with Sue Dunham. She commented on my old video from March 1st, 2019 on my old channel. LDS Mormon Church finds ancient records at Adam-on-Diamond. It's similar to what I did with the video on this channel about finding lost records in the capstone that was opened up. And of course Mormons hate that video too. This video shows the thumbs up and thumbs down, and I can't go back and manage it. YouTube won't let me. That's why I can't do anything with this old channel. They've banned me from managing this channel. And so 53 thumbs down and 10 thumbs up. And just to show you how I know that YouTube is currently throttling my videos on this channel. This one has 1,457 views, and this is small. So I know exactly what's going on. Nobody can gaslight me, nobody can lie to me and tell me that I'm wrong. I know exactly what's going on in the big picture. And so in her comment, she's upset with me because of she fell victim to what she's now accusing me of. And so she says mislabeling the video. See, she's already hurt. She thinks that I've mislabeled the video. No, I purposely labeled it that way. It's not mislabeled. To get clicks. Now she's assuming. You know what assuming means? Makes an ass out of you and me, but not me. And so that philosophy is wrong in that sense. Just makes an ass out of you. And so that's what she's assuming, that I'm just trying to get people to click on my video. Some people assume that that's called clickbait. No, clickbait is when you trick people into going to a place to get a product or a download or watch a video link, and it turns out you have to pay for something. That's clickbait. And so no, nothing is clickbait for me. I don't charge people money by tricking them into clicking on videos. And so for me to be accused of being cheap and dishonest is unfair on Sue's part. She's just expressing her emotional disappointment because she was thinking somehow it was going to be true, when it's clear from my channel that has my full name, Travis Wayne Goodsell, not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, not the church newsroom, or official church channel sources. So I don't understand why she's upset with me. Because she's the dummy who thinks you go to other sources for official church news information. My thing is even listed as personal vlog type stuff. It's not listed as a religion, as the church should be listed as a religion. Not personal vlogs, nor news. You know, YouTube requires you to identify which category you're channel is under. And I do the vlog. That's it. Sharing my own personal information with the world. And so she's upset because she's not smart enough to know the true source for information. It also reveals that she's also aware that there are ancient records involved with the church and that the church is holding them back. Like I said, I've deciphered Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian petroglyphs and have connected the Bible to the Egyptian petroglyphs. The Bible is in the high 90s of being Egyptian in origin. And why hasn't the church done anything about it? They claim to be the presidents of the church, the apostles, prophets, seers, revelators. They never say translator, but all Mormons, including Sue, assumes they're also translators. So why has the church not given out any new scripture from ancient documents that are flooding the earth? No, it's very down at the bottom. And so for the church to claim the title unofficially, assuming Mormons all understand they have the title, and then to show nothing for it, which then Mormons then assume, oh, well, it's whenever God decides he wants to let them translate. No, that's unsound reasoning. You can't argue that. The fact is, the church is silent. They've thrown Joseph under the bus. They said he's not a translator. He never claimed to be a translator. He just got revelation. And so here, Sue even knows this. But she's still confused because the church has caused confusion for her. This is what Lucifer does. He causes confusion. We all know that as Mormons from our Book of Mormon, the author of confusion. And so I have nothing? Are you sure I have nothing? It doesn't look like I put any pictures. I'm just talking for 13 minutes. And I most likely explain. Oftentimes I'll come up with the title after I finish. So if I come up with the title early on in the video, I need to write it down, otherwise I'm going to forget by the end of the video. But this is the horrible tragedy of Mormonism. That Mormons trust the church leaders so much that they don't recognize that they've been betrayed. And this blindness causes such anger towards anyone else rather than where their focus of anger should be, which is on the leaders of the church. They're the ones who deceived Sue, not me. My title was specifically titled to draw out people like Sue in the hopes that she would wake up and recognize that the church had been deceiving her. And instead, she chose to attack me. Verbally attack me. She says, I have nothing. Joseph Smith received the Book of Abraham from God. No. Even the Book of Mormon's introduction tells us it did not come from God. It came from the guy showing the mummies in his little tour of America, and Joseph Smith saw him and wanted to buy the papyri. It did not come from God. Not from a manuscript? See, there she's been deceived by Mormon apologists. because they say Joseph Smith isn't a translator. And so she's not using the word translation. I don't see the word translation anywhere in here. She says, received the book of Abraham, not from a manuscript, just as he received from the Book of Mormon, without ever having the golden plates open. Was she there? Did you see that? And just as he received writings of John, that came from his 1769 King James Version of the Bible. We still have it. The church didn't take it out in 1979 when they did the footnotes for our scriptures and took out the Apocrypha. She's just gone far off the deep end because of the church deceiving her. She's making all sorts of lies and deceptions to convince herself the church is still true. And she cannot get herself to say the word translate, as the church refuses to say, we now, all those in favor of President Russell M. Nelson as prophet, seer, revelator, signified by the upraised hand. No translator. They will never admit to translation. She is not admitting to translation. The church has thrown Joseph Smith under the bus, and Sue is condemning me when I am coming out and say, no, he's a translator. Listen, that's all you have to do. This Rittner guy is a joke. He doesn't even know Egyptian. Look at that. See what he did there in that third video. 1 hour and 30 minutes, or 2 hours and 30 minutes. That was a 5 hour and a half video. What do you do to Mormons who follow the church to jump off a bridge, to kill themselves spiritually and physically? The church is opening up the temples. They've opened up the churches. What are the consequences of that? People get sick and die. These are supposed to protect the flock, not feed them to the wolves, as they are the wolves in sheep's clothing. And so then she gives me a threat at the end. You're treading spiritually dangerous water just to get views. Again, she's assuming. My intention was to convince her that Joseph Smith is a translator. But in the process of doing that, she's got to come to the reality that the current church is false. The two are incompatible with each other, and Mormons cannot accept it. They accept the current church, and they twist the original of Joseph Smith so that they can accept the current church. And you can't do that. You're doing it, but you can't. Everybody in the world thinks you're a joke for doing that. They don't know the truth out in the world either. But I come along and say, hey, Joseph Smith is a translator. And all hell breaks loose in Utah. The church themselves made a troublemaker file and placed my work in it because they don't believe Joseph was a translator. And so the church had me locked up, disappeared from society for 6 years of my life because I'm a translator. My first wife, of whom I had 3 kids with, left me, abandoned me, abducted my kids, fled the country with the help of the church, my parents, my siblings, my neighbors. All because in February of that year, 1997, I came to her and said, "Hey honey, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Joseph Smith is a translator. Isn't that awesome?" "My kids will never learn Hebrew." "I never loved you anyway." It's just unbelievable how much Mormons have betrayed Joseph Smith and still sing his hymn at church. "We thank thee, O God, for a prophet, and praise to the man." And the church is mocking him by celebrating a bicentennial of the first vision, which I told you is code. It never happened. It was code. Because the Jesus Christ of Joseph Smith was him. And that shocks everybody. Because nobody understands the Messiah of the Jews. Dear God. And so I don't know what to do with Sue. If I do this video and then link her to it, I don't know. But it's just horrifying to be treated like this by my own religion, when they ought to have been treating me kindly. And I did that video also. Lots of people are going to that one because many people recognize the wording that came directly from his church history. He wasn't searching for which church to join. He was in the Freemasons. Anyway, we're already at 22 minutes. I lost the majority of my viewers.